Hi, this is Les Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. I was really looking forward to watching the undefeated Steelers take on the Ravens on Sunday, with the Browns fans hanging on the outcome, something we haven't seen since this team came back in 1999. Instead, we'll know the outcome later, but it's fun that we get a Browns team that we care about now instead of one that we start to feel sorry for. The D-Man, Dennis Manoloff, is here. More sports and Les Levine is on the air. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les Levine, it's a Wednesday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. It's Thanksgiving Eve. Welcome to More Sports and Les Levine, which is powered by cleveland.com. Wednesday night, that means the D-Man, Dennis Manoloff, is here. He's doing a lot of extra homework here, show prep, because he's going to be on WTAM AM 1100 when this show is over. So it's like going out in vaudeville. You give the stuff and see if it works, and then you play it on the big show.
Absolutely. This is great show prep. By the way, Les, happy birthday, Bernie Kosar.
Oh, yeah. Today's we have some birthday dates that are terrible. Today's a good one.
That's right.
All Hall of Famers today. And the other night we had all Hall of Famers the other night also. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. We talked about the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Their game has been moved up or back, whatever. It'll be Sunday sometime. And I wonder if it wasn't such a high-profile game, if they would have canceled it. If you had one team that was clearly out of the playoff race, I wonder if they would have just canceled the game.
Yeah, Les, I don't know about the word canceled, but in terms of postponed, that's entirely possible. Because if you cancel a game in the NFL and there's only 16 of them, then all of a sudden you got two teams down to 15, and then it gets really, really crazy. So they'd have to figure out a way to replay it.
Yeah, the Browns announced that Sione Takitaki is the one who winds up on the reserve COVID list, the COVID-19 list, and so he makes news on and off the field this week. Very few people have heard of him, and now you hear two different things about him. Of course, the pick six, and now being put on the COVID-19 list. Are you surprised that there hasn't been more of this?
You mean total number of cases in the NFL?
Yeah.
Yes and no. Yes, because of what's happening in this country and how difficult it is to contain this virus, but no, because the NFL is, breaking its back trying to figure out ways to isolate guys during practices and isolate position groups and whatnot. So they are able to contain it better than they would otherwise.
I picture them, as soon as the week is over, the games are over for a week, they all get in the room and they go, phew, one more down.
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy at all. And this is the kind of stuff that, the NBA had to work through, NHL had to work through, MLB especially, because MLB was playing, in 30 venues. So the NFL hopefully took a lot of notes, and they can keep the outbreaks to a manageable number.
Well, another Brown defensive player made some news this week, and of course you didn't have Garrett. Myles Garrett wasn't able to play, but Olivier Vernon certainly came on. He was named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week, the first NFL player since 2014 to record 3 sacks and a safety in the same game. He now has 5 sacks in his last 3 games. What do you do with him? He's a free agent at the end of the year.
Well, listen, Olivier Vernon obviously played great against the Philadelphia Eagles as the Browns won 22-17. The Browns desperately needed Vernon to play well because Myles was out because of COVID, and of course he'll be out again this week. So this is definitely Olivier Vernon's chance to to show what he's made of, and he definitely cashed it in on Sunday.
You know, we talked about this last night when Mary Kay was here. A lot of Browns fans, I don't know why they're complaining, because with the kind of record they have and the way they're playing, they shouldn't. Complaining is the last thing they should be doing. But talking about how weak the schedule is, well, the schedule of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have a good chance to go all the way undefeated, their schedule is the exact same as the Browns, except they play Buffalo and the Browns play the Jets. That's the only difference in the schedule.
Yeah, I've never understood that, Les, especially where the Browns are concerned, as certainly since '99, because the Browns since '99 have been a sad outfit, with a ton of losing. To me, when you get a season like this, when you're 7-3 after 10 games, the winning percentage of 700 through 11 weeks, 10 games, one bye. There's no nitpicking. You just take what you can get and celebrate a winning season. And yet it does seem like there's too much nitpicking going on amongst Browns fans or Browns casual observers saying, well, the record's built on sand. First of all, you can only play the teams that are on your schedule. And secondly, yes, the NFL does set it up. It's well known. It sets it up where, bad teams are supposed to get easier schedules the following year. And the other thing is, you don't even know, even if you think you've got an easy schedule going into a season, you can't guarantee that it's going to be easy.
No, there's always a team or two that are much better than people thought they were on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 216-575-0403. And by the way, I defy any owner of a team, when they pick the schedules prior to the season, I defy any owner to say, no, that's too easy for us. We'd like to have it a little harder so our fans will understand how good we played.
Great point. And here's the thing, Les, too. There will come a day where Kevin Stefanski's Browns face a brutal schedule. It's not here yet, though. And let this play out first, and we'll worry about the tough schedule sometime down the road.
And then we'll worry about not being on Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football. I sort of liked it the way, if you're going to have tough teams, I'd rather have them at the beginning, like the Browns did when they got blown out twice in a row, Pittsburgh and, of course, Baltimore. That was the best thing that could have happened to them, because they recovered, and those games were back in the background.
Yes, Les, and I'll say this too. As sort of somewhat, I guess, supporting the point about the soft schedule, or the critics of it. We're gonna see at Tennessee and home to Baltimore how far this team has come.
Good point.
Because those are two legitimate teams. They're battling for playoff spots. Tennessee, I believe, right now is the Colts. Colts leading that AFC South, and then the Titans are in the the playoffs, even though they have the same record at 7-3. But I think those two games will really show how far the Browns have come since that opening night debacle, or opening day debacle in Baltimore.
If the Baltimore-Cleveland game was to be played tonight, who would you be rooting for? Schedules, the records the same as they are right now.
Who would I what?
Who would you be rooting for or against, Baltimore or Pittsburgh, if they were playing each other tonight?
Baltimore, Pittsburgh. I want to see. I believe Pittsburgh is virtually guaranteed to win the division, the AFC North. So I want Pittsburgh to beat Baltimore every chance they get.
Knock Baltimore out of it.
Right.
216.
Right now, Les, the Browns are competing with the Baltimore Ravens for one of those wild card spots.
Right, even though they have an edge on them right now.
As much as possible.
And 216-575-0403. You can email us during the show at reallesLevine@gmail.com. You see it at the bottom of your screen. Phone number 216-575-0403. Facebook is where you can go if you want to respond to some of our questions. We got a good question today, and some interesting answers to that. Facebook.com/More Sports and Less Levine, with new content posted each and every day. We post the question in the morning. You guys answer it all day, all night, and then we'll read them throughout the show that evening. Let's take a break. We'll come on back in a moment with Dennis Manoloff. Lots to talk about tonight. More Sports and Less Levine is powered by cleveland.com.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino has sports betting. Use one of our 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet and watch your favorite games on one of our many HD televisions or visit our sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
Do you like Ohio State football? Would you like to get information from me, Doug Lesmerises, about Ohio State football without having to look at my face? We have got the plan for you. Become an Ohio State text subscriber through cleveland.com. You send a text, 614-350-3315. What do you get? 2, 3, 4 texts right in your phone every day about Ohio State football. Inside information, polls, voting, all kinds of things. You can be on our podcast. We take text subscriber questions on our Buckeye Talk podcast every week. If you really want to be involved with Ohio State football, in season or out of season, become an Ohio State text subscriber from cleveland.com. Send a text to 614-350-3315. 14-day free trial. What do you have to lose? $3.99 a month after that. 614-350-3315. I'll see you in your phone.
Tri-C is here for you. Now more than ever, you need a post-secondary education. So I encourage you to start your journey here at Tri-C. The majority of fall classes will take place online, but we've added a variety of formats to meet your learning needs, and we've taken many steps to keep you safe on campus. Whether you're ready to get started or your four-year plans have changed, Tri-C is where futures begin.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Hi, welcome back to More Sports and Les Levine. Les, Dennis, the two cornerbacks for the Browns, the starting cornerbacks, have both been out right now. Kevin Stefanski right now, he spoke today and he couldn't provide an update on when Greedy Williams will return. And of course we know that Denzel Ward is going to miss a few weeks with his calf injury. If you look at the Browns depth chart right now, cornerback, Kevin Johnson is going to be stepping in to fill in for Denzel Ward, and we've had Terrence Mitchell filling in for Greedy Williams. Beyond that, there's not a lot of depth on that chart that has a lot of starting NFL experience. So maybe there's a couple options in the free agent market that the Browns could look at to add a little bit more depth. The first one is Eli Apple. He's 25 years old, spent time with the Giants, Saints, and Panthers. Now the problem is he's only played 2 games with the Panthers this year. He had a couple of injuries that he was dealing with, and he was released by the Panthers about a month ago. So he has had some time to recover from that. In 57 career games, he's had 3 interceptions and 3 fumbles forced. Now the next one is Tremaine Johnson. He's spent 8 NFL seasons with the Rams and the Jets, mostly with the Rams. Now he did join the Panthers and was on their practice squad this season, but he did not play a game. In 7 games last year, he had 25 tackles and 1 interception, and he's got 23 career interceptions in 102 games. 7 interceptions in 2015, which was a career high for him. Now you've got B.W. Webb, who has spent 6 seasons in the NFL, each one with a different team. Last year he was with the Bengals, and the year before that he was with the Giants, where he started getting some starts in the NFL. And the last 4 years, he's got 1 interception in each of the last 4 years. Now, for comparison's sake, quarterbacks are completing less than 60% of their passes against him in the time he's been starting, about 57%. Now, to compare, Denzel Ward this season has allowed 57% of his passes to be completed. And he's only missed 7 tackles in his last 2 years. So, Les, Dennis, I just want to turn the question over to you. Do any of these options intrigue you, or do you think the Browns are okay with where they're at cornerback?
Honestly,
Apple, right?
none of them intrigues me. And I know Brian did a lot of research, and I know Eli Apple is a big name in these parts. But to me, here's what I've always tried to use as my guide with the NFL. If you are a player and you are, you have bounced around and or you're now looking for work somewhere at this stage of the season, I wonder about you.
Yeah, there's something wrong somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think they can hold the fort internally until Denzel comes back.
well, what concerns me on that statement, and you're right, potentially they could do that, but the way they talk about Greedy Williams, it doesn't sound like he's coming back. And as far as Denzel Ward is concerned, you talk about 3 or 4 days, you're almost talking about the whole rest of the regular season. So none of those options sound really good right now.
Yeah, and the Greedy Williams thing is such a puzzle because Kevin Stefanski gets that question basically every week, and he came out with a quote, I think it was today, about how Greedy's working hard. He's just not there. He's not able to play. And so you wonder, the mystery of Greedy Williams. But it is entirely possible, to Brian's suggestion, that the Browns, look to the outside, look for something on the outside, someone on the outside to bring in.
Your statement that usually if a guy like that is available, there's something wrong. And I'll go the other way. If a guy like that is being chased by a team, there's something wrong with that team that's doing the chasing.
Yeah, right. And listen, I'm not saying that a certain player can't have a difficult fit with one franchise and then have a good fit with another. But generally, if you're a really good player, that franchise is going to keep you.
Right. Yeah, they'll find a way. 216-575-0403. Now, you mentioned earlier the Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. In a case like this, you're going to root for the Steelers, believe it or not, which could be on the way to an all-time winning record, running the table. By the way, do you think they will?
It's entirely possible they go 16-0. I want to see them go 16-0 and then eventually meet the Browns in the playoffs and lose.
That would be a fun thing to have happen. Well, here's the standings as of now. You see them bunched together. Steelers at 10-0, Chiefs at 10-1, the Bills, 4 teams at 7-3, the Bills, the Colts, the Titans, and the Browns. Then you got 3 at 6-4, Raiders, Ravens, and Dolphins. D-Man, take the Browns out of the equation. The number you see them listed as number 6, and tell me which team out of the remaining 8 teams. Tell me which one you fear the most, which one you wouldn't mind seeing first on the plate.
Well, I worry about the Raiders as a team that, could potentially tie the Browns, obviously, because the Browns lost that head-to-head against the Raiders. So if the Raiders were to tie the Browns, at least, and I don't know how the three-way would work, but if it was just the Raiders and the Browns tied with the same record, then obviously the Raiders would go ahead of the Browns because they beat them this year. Conversely, the Colts situation, you want to see the Colts as the wild card team so that if they tie the Browns will win that tiebreaker.
Right,
the Dolphins were worrying me up until they went to Denver and lost this past Sunday. I'm not going to necessarily believe they're going to make that giant of a leap. I think 10 wins is the magic number. I think the Browns can get there. They have a clear path to get there. They don't even need victories over Tennessee, Baltimore, or Pittsburgh to get their 10 because all they would need is, well, they would need one of those 3, yeah, because then they got Jacksonville, and then they have the Jets and the Giants, or Giants-Jets. That's 9. So they would need one out of those 3, Tennessee, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. I think they can get to 10.
Is this, in baseball, a GM will tell you that you need 40 games to see what a team is like. Is this the last week that you're going to see legitimate performances by teams who are about to say goodbye to the rest of the field? Is this about their last chance to stay alive?
Yeah, that's a good point, Les. Right about this time of year, it's like you hear in golf, moving day is Saturday. Well, here in the NFL, moving weeks are right around now. And yeah, I mean, the Browns definitely, after the Jacksonville game, they're going to need to play really, really well in order to beat Tennessee on the road. Then you've got Baltimore, I think, and then the two in the Meadowlands before finishing with Pittsburgh.
Listen, no coach is ever going to say this is an easy game and we're looking ahead to the week after. But is there any trap game possibility in this? I don't see it. I think they're going with Glenn. I think they named their quarterback, or they were going to name him today.
Mike Glennon.
Mike Glennon, yeah.
I mean, to me, the Browns would never be in a position to fall prey to a trap game because they haven't done much winning in, decades. So now that you're winning, you don't sit there and go, oh, yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars are an easy game. I think they will be on the outside. I think it'll be an easy victory for the Browns, but I'm sure Kevin Stefanski will have this team ripping and snorting and taking the Jaguars seriously.
Yeah, and I think they need to also consider trying to get some time off for Baker Mayfield, see if they could build up a big lead, put the game out of reach, because when you see what happened to Joe Burrow, you just shudder that could happen to your guy. Yeah,
very unfortunate with Burrow. That's reconstructive knee surgery, ACL, MCL. I pray for his sake he can come back at some point and be the player he once was.
Yeah, one is tough enough, and now you got them both. It's a horrible situation. So D-Man has decided how to set up the schedule. So we'll send that into the NFL headquarters, see if that's okay with them. We'll continue on. We'll talk some Ohio State. And look who's the Dennis Manoloff, graduate of Northwestern. Are you beaming?
Well, but Les, let me just jump in with something. Yeah. I had a complete brain cramp. You tell me I'm a graduate from Northwestern. I have the certificate to prove it. But a few minutes ago, I said the Browns have the easiest path to 10 wins. They need 4 wins. No, they have 7. So all they would have to do to get to 10 is Jacksonville, the Jets, and the Giants.
Well, it's an easier path if they get to 10 before you expect them to get to 10.
7 plus 3 equals 10.
It's that central time zone thing with Northwestern.
There we go.
All right. Let's take a break. We'll come on back in a moment with Dennis Manoloff. He'll be on 1100 WTAM tonight following this show. And we are powered by cleveland.com. Back in a moment.
Transform your home for the holidays with an authentic Nature Stone garage floor. No more tripping on cracked, uneven concrete. Stop slipping on puddles and standing water. It's the safer, more beautiful garage floor that's easy to clean and never needs replaced. That's why it's backed by Russell's Promise. For a limited time, get more Nature Stone than ever before with up to half your garage floor free. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com to qualify for your free flooring. It's not just a floor.
Wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Nothing about 2020 has been remotely normal, and that goes for the NFL season. But in his first year as Browns head coach, with no real offseason and no training camp to speak of, Kevin Stefanski has kept his team focused and, most importantly, winning football games. Injuries have not been talked about a whole lot with the Browns, but they have been hit hard by them. They lost Grant Delpit for the season, and Greedy Williams has yet to play. Mack Wilson was out for several games, and now that defensive unit will be without Myles Garrett for the second game in a row, and Denzel Ward will likely miss multiple games as well. On offense, they lost Nick Chubb for multiple games. Odell Beckham Jr. is out for the season. Offensive linemen Wyatt Teller and Jack Conklin both missed multiple games, but the Browns are 7-3 after 10 games. At the end of the
I hope they don't take that win away from them, whatever Dave Bacon was talking about. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Dennis Manoloff with his D-man. When you talk about the defensive backfield, you even forget about Delpit. You know the other names. And Delpit was, I thought, was the steal of the draft when he was taken by the Browns. And you've almost forgotten about him at this stage.
Yeah, and Les, that's another reason I'm so glad David Bacon had that piece, because it's another reason why I don't quibble about 7-3, regardless of how it was built, the teams that you beat. The fact is the Browns have been dinged. I get, basically every NFL team gets injured, but the Browns have had injuries in key spots, and yet they're 7-3.
Yeah, and I think if anybody told you they'd win 7 games with 5 left, I think you'd be happy with that. Or 6 left. Now my math
left.
Is bad.
Yeah.
My Ohio State University math class.
Les, you know what? I'm tripping over 6-4, 7-3, 7-4.
Because everybody's got that.
7-4 Browns under Pettin.
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's hard to. You're not used to 7-4, so when you talk about the Browns' record, you sort of say, "Wait a minute, they're 7-4? Yeah, I guess they are." And it's nice to get used to that. And I'll tell you what's nicer about it is, as a fan, not as a member of the esteemed media or the steamed media, as a fan, I get up Sunday morning, I look forward to the game, and I say, the other day I went to turn the TV on for and I had it. At noon I was ready to play. Or watch them play. And so my math was off also.
Yeah, Les, and here's another thing I want to make sure I get in before, if and when we move on to another topic. I don't want to let this one stay on the floor. Baker Mayfield, to me, at least when I'm doing these shows on WTAM, getting criticism for not being a great quarterback, for not putting up eye-popping numbers. And I'm kind of bristling at that criticism. I'm sitting there going, what do you expect them to do? Especially the last 2 games, and even the last 3, because when the Browns lost to the Vegas Raiders, Derek Carr of the Raiders didn't throw for many yards either. He threw for fewer yards than Baker did. But those 3 straight bad weather games on the lakefront, what did you want from Baker Mayfield? He wasn't going to be able to throw for 300 yards anyway.
Yeah, and you see these other 3 quarterbacks that came into town. They didn't. If you hadn't seen them before, you wouldn't be impressed by anything they did either. I just think people around here are so hungry for a winner and a franchise quarterback that they don't know what they're seeing in front of them. Because a franchise quarterback, even the great ones, whether it's Aaron Rodgers, whether it's Breeze, whoever, if you watched every play of every game that they played in, you'd see some not so great quarterbacking somewhere along the line. And if that's all you saw, that's not very impressive. I heard one talk show host the other day talk about a player who was in his first game as a quarterback, and he said, well, he played pretty well. I didn't see the game, but I saw the highlights. Well, I'd look good in the highlights. Give me a highlight reel, and I'll make it look like I know what I'm doing, even though I probably wouldn't. But I think we need lessons in how to watch this stuff.
Well, unless I think you hit it on the head as you usually do. Browns fans desperately want a winner and a franchise quarterback. They want it defined like right then and there, both of them.
And they might rather take the quarterback if given the choice of the two.
Correct. But here's the point, though. The NFL does not unfold in the perfect world scenario where a team is automatically going to be a winner and a relatively unproven quarterback is going to all of a sudden show that he's a franchise QB. It may come in fits and starts with the franchise or the quarterback. And so in this case, enjoy the 7-3, enjoy the playoff contention. Don't worry as much about, is Baker Mayfield the guy? But I will say this. Baker needs to play well against quality competition when it happens.
Which he's not done.
And the fact is, he didn't play well at Baltimore. He didn't play well against Pittsburgh. So those two jump out. Again, the Raiders game, the only other loss for the Browns, I think is extenuating circumstances because neither quarterback was going to throw for much. But Baker does need to play better against quality competition.
Agreed. Right now, Smiley One, they're making it easy to invest in a new heating or cooling comfort system without breaking the budget. For a limited time, you can take advantage of the special financing for 36 months on select Bryant high-efficiency equipment. In fact, Smiley One just won the highly coveted award for service and production from Bryant. They make it easy for your family to stay comfortable all year long. Call Smiley One for more information. We'll come back in a moment. Dennis Manoloff is with us. We're going to let him off a couple minutes early so he can get his show ready over at 1100 WTAM. And we'll come back in a moment, powered by cleveland.com.
We're living in uncertain times, but you don't have to put your future on hold. At Tri-C, you can move ahead while staying safe and saving money. The majority of fall classes will take place online, but we've added a variety of formats to meet your learning needs, and we've taken many steps to keep you safe on campus. Whether you're ready to get started or your four-year plans have changed, check out Tri-C's programs and resources, because Tri-C is where futures begin.
Well, hello everyone. Let me tell you a little bit about Browns Football Insider. For only $3.99 a month, you can get text sent right to your phone each day from me, Dan Lobby, Scott Pasco, and Ellis Williams. In addition to that, you'll receive a Football Insider newsletter every day with special things from us, things that you won't see anywhere else on the site. You'll get breaking news, analysis, features, film breakdown, and things like that. Texting us directly gives you a great chance to cut through the clutter of Facebook, Twitter, other social media, and avoid the trolls. Also, it's the only way to get your questions on the Orange and Brown Talk podcast. So why should you sign up? Try a 14-day free trial. You can cancel at any time. All it takes is one text, but you won't want to cancel. We have hundreds of subscribers join us over the last year. They love it and have stayed with us. We're seeing the Football Insider community grow every week. And it's only $3.99 a month, which is less than 14 cents a day. What I like most about Football Insider is the opportunity to connect with you one-on-one and really communicate with you. So how can you become a Football Insider? You can click on cleveland.com/Browns, the blue banner at the top of the page. Or easier yet, text me at 216-208-3965. Again, that's 216-208-3965.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes. To keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at smiley1.com.
'41, 24-year-old Lou Boudreau, named as player manager, shortstop, and manager of the Cleveland Indians. He will eventually go into the Hall of Fame as a shortstop, and he led the Indians to its last World Series title back in 1948. Pretty good ball player. His 1948 season, D-Man, one of the greats for a shortstop of all time. This is, you mentioned earlier that Bernie Kosar is celebrating a birthday today. How about the guy on top? He was pretty good. Joe DiMaggio, Joe Cribbs, a Hall of Famer, Chris Cross, Hall of Famer for songwriting, I think, and Chris Carter and Nick Swisher. Well, almost all Hall of Famers on that list. Let's turn our attention to football. But first, D-Man, the Indians made a little news today. The only submarine pitcher who couldn't get anybody out in the history of the game, Adam Simber, is given his papers, his walking papers today, and it's not unexpected.
Yeah, the Simber tenure in Cleveland, I mean, when he came over, I was thinking, wow, the funky delivery, and he's going to really be a handful. I was thinking of, at the very least, a Joe Smith type of pitcher with that kind of effectiveness. It just didn't materialize as an Indian.
You used Joe Smith as an example, and that's pretty good. But Simber, if you just looked at the motions, it looked like he had more stuff, or it was coming from different directions at all times. Usually not the correct direction.
Yeah, it was funkier than Smith, but it just didn't work out.
216-575-0403. All right, we had the first week of voting last night for the college football playoff rankings. Alabama #1 at 7-0. They won't have Lou Saban this week to take on Auburn because of the COVID-19. Notre Dame second at 8-0. Clemson at 7-1. Ohio State 4-0. Texas A&M at 5-1, and Florida at 6-1. And then we add Cincinnati to that, and it won't be this year, but there might be a year coming up because they're a legitimate team, Cincinnati, no question about that. However, and you have Ohio State there in the fourth spot, they don't make it if they don't get by the Western Conference or the Western Division of the Big Ten, which could be your alma mater, could be Northwestern.
Yeah, Northwestern is in a really good spot now, not only because of their record, but also because Wisconsin, I think, had to kick another game. So somebody was writing today that Northwestern only needs one more victory to clinch the West, and that'll be a fascinating matchup. Northwestern's defense against Ohio State's offense.
Ohio State, with their defense wasn't predicted to be as bad, as struggling as it has been. I wonder what's the deal there. What is it? The player, the talent? Is it the coaching? What is it? Because they had a lot of blue chippers in the backfield.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's happening there, but what I didn't expect to see was the getting beat over the top. It seems like the wide receivers are able to run free, at a certain point. And, when you had Penix Jr. come into Columbus and light up the Buckeyes like he did, you got to scratch your head a little bit.
Do you think that one game against Indiana might have, even though Ohio State won, could have cost them the Big Ten championship or the Heisman Trophy for Fields, or any other bad things can happen? Should one game, I know this is a shortened season, a truncated season, there, I love that word, but should it be that costly, if it in fact becomes that way?
Yeah, in a perfect world, no, but we're not in a perfect world in 2020, obviously, with the compressed schedule. And, I would think that a quarterback like Justin Fields, who needs to make sure that he shows he is appreciably better than the favorite, Trevor Lawrence, that a guy like Fields can't have a hiccup. Now, fortunately for Fields, some of his numbers were good against Indiana, but clearly he was not on, top of his game. He wasn't as sharp as he usually is. So he might get dinged when it comes to the Heisman voting.
You know, it's interesting. You mentioned Trevor Lawrence, rather, and I'm a Heisman voter, and for the last several years, there's always been almost an obvious choice in the preseason balloting or preseason projections, and yet I don't think, I'd have to recheck it, but I don't remember anybody just running the table as the favorite and running it all the way through. Can you think of anybody offhand?
No, I can't, Les. That's a great point. I'm sure it's happened where the prohibitive favorite had an awesome year, but I think what you're referring to in part is the failure to double up,
right.
Since Archie, the one and only.
Sure.
You've had plenty of opportunities where the Heisman winner from the previous year comes back and is favored and fails to deliver. So, that is an interesting part of the whole deal.
I wonder if you could guess who I voted for my first Heisman vote. You probably would say, take that man's Heisman vote away from him. Any idea who? Although we didn't have all the information, you don't have all the information at the exact same time. Monte Teo.
What year was?
Monte Teo I voted for. I think I voted for him second that year. I mean, he had a great year. It's just he had an interesting off the field life.
Yeah.
That's it? Yep.
You got me there, Les.
I do. I guess I do. All right, let's come back. We're going to talk a little bit. We're going to let the D-Man go, and he's going to do radio a little later tonight. We'll take a break. We are powered by cleveland.com.
Transform your home for the holidays with an authentic Nature Stone basement floor. Add more livable space, inhibit the growth of mold and mildew, and improve air quality for your family. It's the healthier, more beautiful basement floor that's easy to clean and never needs replaced. That's why it's backed by Russell's Promise. For a limited time, get more Nature Stone than ever before with up to half your basement floor free. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com to qualify for your free flooring. It's not just a floor.
Wow, it's Nature Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line, a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino has sports betting. Use one of our 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet and watch your favorite games on one of our many HD televisions or visit our sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
D-Man, I want you to jump in on this and add to our Facebook question of the day today. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
All right. Our question was, should the Cavaliers retire Tristan Thompson's number? As you know, he's going to the Boston Celtics for a 2-year contract. Joe English says probably. It's hard to believe, but his career numbers are franchise top 10s in several categories. That's with LeBron James on the team. Adding the ring puts him over the top. Lee Sutley says no way, and Tim Gebhardt says, are you kidding me? What do you think, D-Man?
I'm going to say yes, mainly because he was an integral part of the title team, and that title team is legendary. The 15-16 Cavs should be legendary, will always be, because they broke the drought, and I don't see a title coming for a Cleveland team anytime soon.
No.
So there's that. There's the fact that he was a a quality player for a lengthy period of time with the Cavs. I will say that after he got his money, he didn't seem to be the same player as he was, before the big contract. And, he got dinged later in his Cavs tenure. But when I look back at Tristan Thompson's time as a Cavalier, I think that he deserves to be up there. That 13 deserves to be up there. Now, granted, the Cavs are running out of numbers, but I think Thompson deserves it.
And by the way, he's one of the best offensive rebounders you'll see.
Yeah, he did a lot of little things that helped his team win. And when you think about Cavaliers franchise history, okay, unquestionably the greatest 4-year run in the history of the franchise was LeBron 2.0. Well, you know what? Thompson was involved in that.
Yeah, you needed somebody to fill out the rest of the offense or the rest of the
what's
team.
That, Les?
Well, you needed somebody else to finish out the team.
Well, right, but it's not like Thompson in that 4-year stretch was a bystander. I mean, he contributed to the greatest 4-year run in the history of the Cavaliers.
Right. And I've always looked at the Hall of Fame and wall hangings and things like that as not to compare it to who's in, because those guys could be mistakes. I talk about Louis Aparicio in baseball and a couple of others, Bill Mazeroski. One of the great moments in baseball, but I don't know that he's a Hall of Famer. But Thompson shouldn't be penalized because, I don't know, some average player made it up there. Each franchise has its own reason for having certain guys in certain honorary positions.
Right, and Les, here's the other thing. I don't like to do this, like pitting one Cavs legend against another, but honestly, if Nate Thurman's 42 is going to be in the rafters, why can't Thompson?
Well, he was a great player, but Cleveland had him as a sub in the last year and a half of his very good career. Let's go to Dan in Hubbard, I believe. Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, but everybody loved Nate. Remember, Nate came out of Akron, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Anyways, I was going to talk a little bit about Ohio State with you guys.
You got about a minute.
I know their defensive backs are horrible. And
well, they had a horrible game.
They had a horrible game second half against Rutgers, so that's 6 quarters.
Okay.
But they have. I'm just wondering, when they brought Kerry Coombs back, he was a defensive back coach. I'm wondering if he stretched too much being the DB coach and the coordinator. Because that guy is left to go to Boston College.
Yeah,
those DBs a lot better than we are.
Something
All
to
right,
check
have a nice
out.
Thanksgiving,
We got to go.
guys.
D-Man, we're going to let you go. Have a great show. 1100 WTAM tonight, starting in a few minutes.
Yeah, 7 to 10 on WTM 1100, 106.9 FM.
Excellent. All right, have a good one. All right. D-Man, let me keep you on for a little, half a minute here.
Sure.
The Browns, no question about a win on Sunday?
There's no doubt in my mind they're going to win. They'll be 8-3 after they finish off Jacksonville. They'll find ways to win, even without Miles and Denzel and Taki. That offense has plenty of firepower for Jacksonville.
All right, I got to fess up. Ready for me to fess up? I'm going to fess up. You called it on you yourself when you made a mistake when you couldn't add 7 and 4 or whatever, right? Flag was down. So I am known as the king of clock management, and we're letting you out early. I was about to let you out 5 minutes early, and I got nailed. I got nailed for it.
I was going to say, I was looking at that clock going, man, I wouldn't know what to do with the extra minutes.
Well, we got a vamp. You got a favorite song you want to sing, and maybe you and I could dance? I said this to Bud Shaw the other night.
Bernie. Oh, Bernie.
I want to get back to that in a minute, but I haven't seen you. You're here every week, and I don't think I've seen you in a year.
It is. I love Classic Teleproductions. I love the drive out there. I love seeing Brian and the guys, and Mike Bacon and everybody. And I do miss everybody at Classic Teleproductions. A beautiful place to work, and one of these days we'll get back there.
All right, we're going to take a break. You stand by. We still have a couple minutes to fill here. More Sports and Les Levine continues right here on cleveland.com.
Transform your home for the holidays with an authentic Nature Stone garage floor. No more tripping on cracked, uneven concrete. Stop slipping on puddles and standing water. It's the safer, more beautiful garage floor that's easy to clean and never needs replaced. That's why it's backed by Russell's Promise. For a limited time, get more Nature Stone than ever before with up to half your garage floor free. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com to qualify for your free flooring. It's not just a floor.
Wow, it's Nature Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
All right, D-Man, your guy, Mr. Gullible, is trying to get it by. He now feels very confident in his own skin because he's trying to get one by that he knows would not get by.
What's that, Les?
Well, he's got a quickie here that he knows I'm not going to use it, but he pushes the wheel a little bit.
Gullible.
Gullible has one I will use. How come when I got a final notice letter from the IRS, I said, oh, good, they won't bother me anymore? I don't think that's what they meant. But nice try on the other one, Gully. But you know as well as I that was dead in the water before it ever got to me. Not to say you shouldn't keep trying. I mean, I could fall asleep. You never know. All right, anything in the world you want to say for a minute, D-Man? It's yours.
Well, I want to again wish happy birthday to Bernie because here's the thing. I love the guy anyway. I mean, I had a chance to meet him like most Clevelanders have. He's a wonderful dude. And the other part of it is, as a lifelong Browns, Indians, and Cavs fan, when I think about the Browns and my 4+ decades of following the Browns, he is primarily responsible for the glory days of the Browns in my lifetime. I mean, that late 80s run was as good as it's gotten in terms of multiple years. I mean, of course you had Brian Sipe and the Cardiac Kids and the MVP, but Bernie in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, was the best sustained run that the Browns have had in my lifetime. So that's why Bernie will always have a special place in my heart.
As some of the talk show hosts have come in and out of town, and when they would come here, most of them would think that Bernie Kosar was an average player, maybe a little better than average, didn't understand his impact. And I said, I sat him down with some videos and all that stuff, and they all changed their mind. And the excitement on 9th Street or anywhere downtown was the parties, the whatever. It was a party. The 80s, late 80s to the early 90s was a party here.
There's no question about it, Les. And what's devastating to me for Bernie is that he didn't get to a Super Bowl. He should have been to at least one, obviously. But
and he got the short one from Dallas
with the Browns. Yeah, he didn't get to one with the Browns. He did get the ring with the Cowboys. Yes, he did. But with the Browns, he should have gotten to one at least. But on the other hand, as you said, Bernie was more than just a football player in this town. He transcended the sport and was like a cultural phenomenon for this area.
Final question, same era. Does Clay Matthews make it this time?
He should, but unfortunately, I don't think he will. He deserves to be in Canton.
I agree. Probably won't happen, and I'm not sure they would give him another chance. I don't think they've announced that this is his last try, but I would think that it is. All right, that'll do it for us. Now we're going to let you go. Have a great show tonight on 1100 WTAM, and I'll see you. Have a great holiday with as many friends and family as you can gather in a small area. Keep safe as you can, and have a great holiday weekend. I'll see you on Monday with Bud Shaw. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.